Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Marissa Explains It All. So today I am back after a 2-week hiatus. After the new year, I just did not feel well. I had some health stuff going on and I just was not into filming, and I just kind of decided to take it easy for a couple weeks and rest and recover. And then after I kind of started feeling better, I just had no motivation. I don't know if this happens to you guys, but I was just on the couch in my little hibernation mode. I had my blanket, I had my tea, I had I was binge watching Anne with an E, if you're a fan of Anne of Avonlea and Anne of Green Gables. I was just not into it. I was not wanting to come up here and set up the lighting and just have the energy to talk to anybody. So sorry about that, but I had to do me for a minute, and now I'm back and I figured I would start off today with a foundation review. So today I am going to be doing a review of the Jouer Essential High Coverage Cream Foundation. I got a sample and this is what the sample card kind of looks like. So this is supposed to be a high coverage foundation, and for those who know me and my terrible skin, hello. I love high coverage foundations as long as they don't look too cakey or too gross or separate on the skin. So I've just kind of thrown up my hair in whatever this is to go ahead and put this on. And so when you open up the card, it's got a bunch of shades. This thing has 50 shades. In everything from fair to deep skin tones, so I appreciate that they came out with a huge range. This says it is supposed to give you full coverage, it's supposed to feel lightweight, it's supposed to make you feel looks flawless. That's what it says, so we're gonna see. It says it's formulated with tripeptide complex and hyaluronic acid, which is good for your skin, as well as cucumber extract. And it does retail online at Sephora for $38 for a 0.68 fluid ounces. So it's a little bit under an ounce, but so yeah, we're gonna test it out. Let's do it. As per usual, when I do these product reviews, I am going to prime one side of my face and not prime the other side, just to kind of see how it works with your natural skin and then prepped skin. And then I'm going to apply one side with a foundation brush and one side with a damp beauty blender, and then I will do a little check-in throughout the day. So I'll see how it wears over time, and usually I'll end up doing something maybe a 10 to 12 hour wear test just to see how that looks. So let's do it. All right, so the sample that I got came with 6 different shades, and so I'm gonna kind of see which one will work for my skin. I'm more in this card over here, and this is Fawn, Porcelain, and Alabaster. I think that I may not be so light as to have to need Alabaster. That's my sister. My sister's paler than me. Sorry, sissy. So I'm gonna try to go with the deeper shade of this set. This is called Fawn. And let's just see what that does for us. All right, so maybe I got a little cocky because this is also very dark on my skin. All right, so yeah, this one's probably too dark for me. All right, I'm eating my words. I'm gonna go back to the middle one. Let's go with Porcelain. My porcelain skin. Let's see what this one does. Okay, so it's very liquidy as I'm looking at it, but let's see what that does. All right, so Porcelain is light. So with this one, it may not be a perfect match, but we'll try it. So let me take this off and then I'll be right back to do the actual application. So I didn't mention if I am starting with prepped skin, just with moisturizer. I didn't put the primer on yet. So I will do this side of my face primed and this side not primed. So I'm going to go in with my usual favorite, the Urban Decay Optical Illusion Primer. I do love this product. It's my usual, so I know it works well for me. So I'm just going to kind of apply that to this side of the face. Okay, this side is primed, this side is bare, just with moisturizer. So I'm going to go ahead now and try to squeeze some of this out onto my palette and see what it looks like. Let's see what we get here, if there's anything in there. Yeah, it's coming out. It's very liquid, to be honest with you. It seems very liquidy. Let's see if I can get some more out there. It doesn't seem like a whole lot to work with. I really hope that that is going to be enough product. As you can see, it's kind of runny. It's dripping, so okay. Well, let's try it and see what we can get. I think because there's not a whole lot, I'm just going to kind of dot it around the skin everywhere, and I will then kind of, blend it in with the different tools. So it does actually seem like there's enough. I'm sort of dipping in here and It does seem like there's enough. Let's see. Maybe they're gonna prove me wrong. Maybe I just use way too much foundation on a normal basis. That also could be the trick there. Okay. All right, so let's do Beauty Blender on one side, brush on the other. I'll try the Beauty Blender on this side and see how it's looking. All right, well, so far so good. I'm gonna stop in the middle, of course. Let's see, hope it's tracking this. Prime my eyelids like I usually do with foundation, or just use foundation on my eyelids. Half the nose. I mean, it does look like it's covering. Now let's see what happens. I'm just gonna kind of blend it up into the hairline a little bit. And, you know, maybe this isn't like my 100% color match, but I don't know, it's close enough. Let's go ahead with the brush then and start blending out the other side and see if there's a difference in how it applies. Now, y'all who know me know that I'm not like a huge fan of brushes, but to apply my makeup I do prefer the beauty sponge. But you know, this has its advantages, and to be honest, some products really do apply better with a brush, and I don't know why that is. I just find that that's the case sometimes, so I guess I can't be too biased all the time and only choose one tool. I have to have all the tools. I still think I prefer the Beauty Blender side, but that's just me being me. Let's see. Take this down, kind of get the ears. This is doing an okay job. I'm gonna dip into like the last little bit to blend down into my neck. I'm just gonna carry the brush down my neck. I don't mind not using the sponge on that side. And then I think I'm gonna use a little bit more, of course, on my little spot here, my little friend. All right, so I know this color is a little bit yellow. For me, it's a little bit, you know, not quite right, but I just wanted to test the formula and all my frizzy hairs everywhere. So I think first impressions, it does cover. I think I'm trying to look and see if there's like a difference between the like brush side and the Beauty Blender side. I mean, I think it's okay. I immediately am kind of noticing that you can see some of the fine lines. It's sort of accentuating those right away, and so I can kind of like zoom in and show you that. So I don't know if you can kind of see, but like it's, you know, really starting to kind of not only just settle in the lines, but also like extend down a little bit, which I'm not a fan of. I don't know if it's just because this formula is too thick, but zoom me back out a little bit. So I'm gonna kind of like try to blend it a little bit more out of my lines. So yeah, I think that could be a problem, especially as I'm like raising my eyebrows and making expressions. I'm seeing like little expression lines. Let's see, I'm just playing with the zoom here. So you can kind of see like it just sort of settles in the lines, which I don't think that a lot of my foundations tend to do that like right away. Usually they do that like later on over time. So let's see, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. I'm just gonna kind of try to buff those out. So I think this is good enough for the application. Now I'm gonna put the rest of my makeup on and see how it interacts with the rest of my products, like my concealer and powders, if it's easier to layer and things like that. So I'm gonna do that off camera and I'll be right back. All right, so I am back after putting on a full face and kind of taking this frizzy mess down from the bun. So first thoughts, I mean, I tried to do everything I would normally do. I use my normal products. I use my normal, you know, concealers and everything. So first thoughts, it mixed really well with my concealer. So concealer laid down really well on it. It went fine. My powders went fine with it. I just used my normal Tarte Shape Tape concealer. I used a Charlotte Tilbury powder and an Hourglass powder, so depending on where it is. I did a little bit of maybe bronzing, not so much a contour, but I used kind of a bronzer just to kind of warm up the skin a little bit. So the things that I put on my complexion seemed to go on really well and laid out great. So it's been a couple minutes, you know, since I put all this on, and so far I think it looks okay, but I do again notice like when I'm close up, just those really like those settling in the fine lines, and I think that those are going to get worse throughout the day. I can't see those really getting better as I make more expressions. So I'm hoping that it will look pretty good. Normally throughout the day, sometimes I do get a little bit of that creasing, and sometimes I will just kind of like, you know, buff that out. But I'm going to try not to do that this time today after, you know, what I just did. I'm going to let it just naturally wear and see what it does, and so you guys can really see the full effect. So I'm looking forward to seeing if it separates in my T-zone, which is traditionally a little bit oily. I'm looking to see if it is just looking cakey, or you know, just if it flakes off, or if it really starts settling more in those lines. So we shall see, and I'll be back in a few hours. See you soon. All right, so I'm doing a little midday check-in. It's been a few hours, maybe like 3.5 hours since I put the foundation on. And so far, I think it's wearing okay. I think, you know, of course you can see in my little smile lines, it's kind of settled, and I really haven't wiped it away. I've just kind of left it. You can see, of course, texture and stuff, but I think to me, the fine line settling in the creases has been kind of like the most noticeable thing about this foundation. But, you know, just kind of holding it arm's length away, it doesn't look bad. Maybe, you know, not 100% my color, but, you know, it's pretty good. Still kind of covered up some of the acne and things. I haven't noticed a whole lot of separation yet, but it's only been a couple hours, so we will check back and see in a few more hours. So, all right, stay tuned. Okay, back a couple hours later for another check-in, and I of course lost all the natural light, so I'm here just kind of on my phone in front of my softbox lights just to kind of take a look at what's going on. I think it looks okay still. I am seeing a little bit of oiliness on my nose, which I did expect to see, and my forehead just a little shiny, but really not too terrible. I've seen a lot of other foundations that have like separated a lot worse. So I think there really hasn't been too much separation. It's just showing a little bit of the shine through there. You know, still kind of seeing some of the lines. I really haven't touched them. I've tried to keep my hands out of like, you know, cleaning them out and like buffing the little lines. So it's really difficult, by the way, to like, you know, keep away from doing that. But I keep being tempted to, but I'm not doing it. I'm not touching my face at all. So I'll check back in a couple hours for the final thoughts. And actually, I'll look a lot better because I'm getting ready to go to my hair appointment and get this situation handled. So I'll be back shortly. So I am back and ready to give my final thoughts. It's been about 10 hours since I first applied the foundation, and so this is what is looking like now. I think I'm going to zoom you guys in just a little bit so you can see some of the things that I'm seeing. Okay, so hopefully that's not too close, but I just kind of wanted you guys to see some of the details up close. So I think that the thing that stands out to me the most is just the creasing, right? So I'm noticing a lot of creasing, of course, and that's kind of been what I've been noticing all day, but up in between the eyebrows and just, you know, lots around my smile lines here. And I think what I've noticed too now is just kind of being more close up that some has rubbed off of my chin. I must have swiped or something there at some point during the day. And it actually looks kind of dry. It looks really dry and kind of like caked around this area and this area. I've noticed a lot of creasing in my nose area, kind of like around here. Of course, it's a little bit shinier as well. It's done pretty well actually with shine control, I will say that. I do look a little bit, you know, shinier than when I first started, a little bit dewier than when I put it on at first. But to be honest, this is actually not bad when it comes to the shine control. I think what I found during the day was that I kept noticing how textured my skin was. And so I kept looking and saying like, oh, it just looks like my skin doesn't look good. It looks textured. I can see the pores. I can see the lines. It doesn't look as smooth. So I think that's the one thing that kind of stuck out to me throughout the day as I was kind of evaluating this. So from back here, it doesn't look as bad, right? I am impressed with the way that it did stay. It seemed like it kind of stayed. It doesn't look like many of my blemishes are kind of showing through, which is nice. It did kind of stay. But I think just for me, this is a pass because I was not a fan of just seeing all that texture on my my face, how much it creased even from the very beginning, and just all day me looking in the mirror and noticing my skin didn't look good. It didn't look healthy to me. So I think for me this one is a pass, and I will stick to some of the other high coverage foundations that I've had more success with. But let me know your thoughts. Have you tried this brand? Maybe there is another formula that I should try. Let me know in the comments below. I'd be interested to see if maybe there is something that worked for you that I could do differently. But sometimes just foundations don't work for every skin type, and I've found other foundations that really make my skin just look a lot healthier, and maybe it might not be so noticeable from farther away, but certainly up close and when I look in the mirror and in daylight and sunlight, I just wasn't a fan. So those are my final thoughts. And of course, if you're not already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and do so and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I upload, which hopefully will be more often now that I am back to my normal perky-ish self. All right, I'll talk to you guys next time. Bye guys.